Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Prospect eRacing League. This is Tier 3, Round 11, the penultimate round of the season here in Brazil, Sao Paulo, to be specific. One of the best racetracks in the world, produces some of the most fantastic racing you could ever wish for. I'm Solid Elite and I'll be joined by Artistic tonight, and we'll be taking you through this fantastic race.
Hey, how's everybody doing? I'm looking forward to an exciting race. It's been some really good racing so far this week throughout Tier 1 and 2 in both PC, Xbox, and PlayStation. So I'd anticipate Tier 3 of PlayStation to do just as great.
Yeah, indeed. And just going to quickly see if I can fix. I don't seem to be getting any audio, which is not ideal.
Yeah, I don't even see a PlayStation or a Twitch feed. Live. There it is. Okay, I think.
So there we go.
I got it.
No, we are broadcasting. We are live. So then it looks like T-Mouse will be the first driver to set a flying lap through the center S's. He comes in at that Williams. Oh, we already cutting the center S's a bit. Center S is quite a very difficult corner to get right. You have to be just pinpoint perfect, turning it in and just making sure you don't spin out and you don't, go a bit wide in one, and then that messes up your corner. Your straight line speed coming down the Retroposta, very important corners. He is up through 5 and 6 now. Oh, he's round already. Is T-Mouse. He's taken a spin onto the grass, just coming out of the high speed right hander. Very difficult corner indeed, and he has lost the car, so that'll be his lap over. See if there's any. We'll go with the actual championship winner, Matty D. Matty D clinching the championship last time out in Austin, Texas. He has a 60-point lead with only 2 rounds to go. Do the maths. 52 points up for grabs. He's the P2 in the championship. Polowski has no way of catching Matty D. So can't.
No, it's pretty much a fight for second place at this point. Just between Pulaski and Sister, they're about 2 points apart from each other. Outside of that, the championship is absolutely been won by Matty.
Yeah, indeed, he is up. I think he was just almost looked like he was going for a warm-up lap, as it was not very fast. Indeed, Gazmo Pan puts it up to P4 with a 10-1. Which is a very good effort from him. And yeah, indeed, we've got a yellow in the middle sector. Just trying to see if someone's gone round. Yeah, they have. It's the Alpine. I think that is. It's not Chris Streamers. That was Rage Burger. Might have had a spin, or might have just been dodging cars out of the way.
Keep around back in here.
Just trying to see. See what's going on the track. We'll go to someone who's on a flying lap. That would be the AlphaTauri of Dom War. He's just begun. He's actually in the second sector at the moment, the corner where we did already see T-Mouse go round. As Matty D puts in a representative time and goes to a 8.7, which is not too bad indeed. Just looking to see what sort of sector times Don Moore can get. This middle sector is quite twisty, quite technical. You've got to have great traction. You've got to make sure you keep that car stable. He's actually purple in that middle sector, so he is really flying on this lap. You don't want to get out of shape into these corners. You want to set yourself up nicely. You can make some overtakes if you're brave coming into these. This is all Don Moore. Oh, it almost looked like he was going to the pits, but just getting the shortest run to the line. He goes P10 with a 9.7. He'll be perhaps wanting to improve at that as we go later on into the session. Rage Burger embalazing his lap time. Morsa doing his usual, some warm-up laps before he puts in a big push at the end of the session then. Wait to see what he can do when it does come to the time. That checkered flag does fall. We'll start a 10-7 then for his first banker lap. Was Krustrom is just pulling to the outside to let a car through. Let's see if anybody else is on a flying lap at the moment. Looks like Villeneuve has just begun his first flying lap attempt. Of course, he is one of 6 drivers yet to set a lap time in this session. Normally goes very wide. Turn 4. An infamous corner from last year's Brazilian Grand Prix. Oh, he's round at turn 5. Loops it round, tries to get it. He tried to get it started again. That corner. Yeah, indeed, at least he did not hit the wall. But yeah, it looks like that corner is pretty deadly. Already seeing 2 spins there, just whilst we've been watching people.
Yeah, let's hope the weather stays fair, because we had some races this week where I started off clean and quality, and the races ended up being swamped. So it's going to be interesting to see if we can stay out of the rain.
Yeah, indeed, of course, a bit of rain could bring us a bit of an interesting race. I'm sure these drivers will be hoping for it to remain dry for their sake. Driving in the wet is just a little bit more, it's quite difficult actually. As F1 Nerd on an outlap, so too is Lucifer Shahid. Lucifer Shahid will be on his first attempt, whereas F1 Nerd will be going yet again. Matty D also coming out, Zippy also looking to come out on track, but F1 Nerd will be the first of those guys to set the lap. F1 Nerd and the Haas, it's been some good performances so far. He'll be looking to add to them today in this Brazilian Grand Prix then. It looks like Rage Burger's retired. I think he's crashed at turn 4. I'm not particularly sure what's happened. Oh, and F1 Nerd invalidating his lap at the first sign then. Yeah, so Rage Burger's out of the session. We've lost 1 Alpine then. It looks like Zippy is about to begin his first flying, well, his second flying lap attempt. He's currently on a 9.3. He'll be looking to improve that quite a bit. In fact, just improving by a 10th would jump him up to P7. I'm sure he'd be very happy with that if he could jump up for 3 places. As his teammate darts out the way for him, he swings it in ever so gracefully. Almost looked like he got a bit of a snap there, perhaps a little bit of lag kicking in as he runs on the run up to turn 5. Just to dab on the brakes, keep it within 5th gear, keep it round, coming up to the top of the hill. That is where the camber change and the sort of change in the elevation of the track does get very difficult to control the car, but he's done a fantastic job. There's a Williams round.
Yeah, who was that? Was that Damore? No. Oh.
Perhaps it was one of the Williams drivers. I'm going to say it might have been Team House then, a Zippy. Didn't quite get to see how much he improved by as we were focusing on that Williams. Looks like the McLaren behind him though is going to get a very nice slipstream. Oh, he's invalidated it at the final corner. It was a 10th slower, and at the very last second he managed to invalidate it. Polski currently P2 in the championship, and he'll be looking to hold on to that position. At the moment, he's on a 9.3, and he's about 300ths up in the first sector then. Through turn 4, he winds it up to the top of the hill. That climb does provide a good overtaking opportunity if you get it right. But should you get it wrong, going wheel to wheel up there has always invalidated his time, going across the grass. Well, the Aston Martin driver, his teammate, just a bit further up the road.
It almost had a collision with the Haas just now.
So yeah, he's pulled to the side as he's aborted his flying lap attempt. Currently P1, Kaya Mers on a 8.2. He's looking like he is a very strong competitor. He's over 4 tenths clear of Carnage Achilles in the Alpha, and he's currently, I think he's just finished a lap actually, and is on an in lap as he's on very low battery. Carnage Achilles is also on an in lap. Matty D is about to start a flying lap. Your tier 3 champion for this season then, into turn 1, so it's into third gear, flicks it ever so nicely, right, left and then right. Ooh, looks like someone got quite loose there through the first corner. Matty D certainly not loose, nice and stable in that McLaren then. He's going to brake hard into turn 4, he's purple in that first sector, and a 10th up on his current best time as he makes the run to the top of the hill, slams it down 2 gears, keeping it in a nice high gear as he rotates the car ever so gracefully, ever so gently, coming up the hill, just keeping it right on the limit of ghosting Aston Martin in front. Does not affect his time as he takes these corners in the middle sector with such precision, such finesse, as he just taps those apexes beautifully, doesn't get loose on the exit. Beautiful lines as he's 3/10 up now. Purple in the middle sector as well for Matty D. He's got to have a mighty final sector if he wants to top the Ferrari in P1 at the moment. If there's one man that can do it, it's Matty D. To the line. It's provisional pole position by about 1/10 of a second for Matty D. Great lap from the McLaren driver. See anybody else on a flying lap? I believe T-Mouse just finished his lap. He just finished his lap and improved by 2/10 and is improved up to P4. Fantastic effort from him. Looks like Pelosi could be on an in lap, I believe. Yeah, indeed, he is. Almost, he could be on a flyer. Not too sure. I have to see. No, he is definitely on a in lap. Then Cavalis, is he on a flyer? I think he's just setting up for a flying lap. Still a few drivers, still 5 drivers yet to set a lap time in the session so far. So yeah, indeed, Cavalis was on an in lap as well. Gazmore Pan has just finished a lap. Donmore, I believe, is just perhaps about to start a lap as he has not got using any ERS, which of course is quite unusual. Of course, to go faster, you'd like the ERS. It's about I think it's about 100. It's about 200 horsepower, I believe, the energy recovery system gives you. And indeed, he is now going to be using it as he begins his flying lap then. Only 5 minutes on the clock. So these drivers will not be wanting to use their tyres early on. They'll be wanting to go out when the track is best. This is grippiest when the most rubber's been laid down. That's what's going to give you the most traction coming out of those corners, particularly in the low-speed corners. It's going to be very helpful later on in the session when the track's rubbered in a bit. But at the moment, Dom Moore, we're going to see what sort of time he sets in that middle sector as he gets a beautiful run up the hill, just ever so narrowly missing the apex. He's going to just keep it within inside the track limits. Very easy to cut the curb there, quite a wide curb. Very easy to do then as he's going to open up the corner ever so beautifully. That Alpha Tauri gleaming in the Brazilian sunlight as he's going to come through the fast left-hander. Oh no, he went wide. He invalidated his lap time. It was looking like a very nice attempt from Donmore, but he invalidated, unfortunately, costing him his lap. Lucifer Shahid in the same area is actually purple in that middle sector. Lucifer has put in some fantastic performances in a few rounds ago, and he'll be looking to replicate that with a provisional pole here. Lucifer Shahid, P3, good effort. An 8.475. He's still got quite a way to go before he catches the Ferrari and McLaren out front, but that's a good effort.
I remember once upon a time he was about a second and a half faster than me, and I don't know what happened, but he turned on the jets, man. He's been quite a different driver here these last couple of years.
Indeed. Just trying to see nobody else looking like they're on a flyer at the moment. I think Villeneuve.
He just spent around. Oh man, commentator's curse. Sorry, buddy.
It's okay. He's on an lap, I'm sure. He's not too disappointed. Maybe it's a celebratory donut. We'll call it that.
That's a tough little turn up in that little area there between 6 through 8. It gets awfully squirrely. Looks like his tires may be overheating on him because he's having a hard time getting back on track.
Yeah, it's important to say that tyres, even in qualifying, do play a huge part. As you want to make sure you've got the correct pressures, you've got to make sure you're managing those temperatures. And Christian is backing up across the track. That might have slowed down Villeneuve a bit, even though he was ghosted. Oh, he looks like he was a tad wide there, clipping the grass and doing the groundskeeper's jobs for them with his multi-million-pound F1 car. As I think that has slowed his efforts down just a little bit then. Yeah, indeed, he's a second down on this lap. Not the best effort for Villeneuve. He doesn't think he's got time to go into the pits. He might have time to come into the pits and change tyres. He decides not to. So he will be going again then in this session. This could be the final flying lap for a lot of these drivers then. Let's go towards the top of the timing sheet. And Carnage Achilles has backed off of his lap then. Perhaps he's preparing, he's burning a bit of fuel in the neutral gear then to lighten the load and make that car perform far better. Matty D is a 10th down on his lap in the middle sector so far. He's struggling to find time. Of course, that lap that he did at first was very good. In fact, he pulls to the inside to let a few more drivers pass. Lucifer Shahid decides that's the best he's going to do in the session and retires. Looks like Owen has jumped up to P4 with his lap time with an 8.5. That's a very solid effort indeed. He might be able to get around and get another attempt in. I'm not too sure. Carnage Achilles will certainly be looking to get another attempt in. T-Mouse, this is his final flying lap attempt then, as he is in the middle sector at the moment, down to P7. These qualifying gaps are incredibly close, particularly between P4 and P9. It's only 4/10 of a second, which is such a small difference. As he's 2/10 up his T-Mouse, Purple. At the moment, it looks like he's going to be jumping up to P4, possibly even P3, if he can find just a bit more time in this final sector then. To the line, T-Mouse in the Williams. It's P5 only, a good effort nonetheless. An 8.5, very close. Owen, the checkered flag falls, and that was Owen's final attempt. He remains in P4 for now. Carnage Achilles did not begin that final attempt then. Perhaps he backed off a bit. Carnage Achilles retires down in P6. Polowski puts a lap time good enough in for P3. Zippy down in P10 at the moment. One of the Mercedes guys.
Looks like a Ferrari spent out there.
Must have been Okay, this though, for pole position at the moment, the Ferrari driver of Kaya Merz is looking like he could be taking provisional pole. He's 2/10 up in that middle sector. Then to the line, he does go provisional pole by a 1/10 of a second, about a 1/10 and a half. Kaya Merz, the Ferrari driver, takes provisional pole away from Matty D, putting Ferrari back on top of the pile. T-Mouse is on an in lap, so that is qualifying over then. The Ferrari takes pole. Behind him, the championship winner Matty D, and the championship runner-up at the moment, Polowski, puts it in P3. So good qualifying, some fantastic laps coming out from a lot of the drivers then.
No doubt. It's going to be a very exciting race. Should be a lot of wheel-to-wheel action. And whoever blinks first is going to be the first to lose, surely. I think strategy with tires and things of that nature are going to play a pretty heavy part in the race as well, because it doesn't look like weather will.
Indeed. So then, good effort. Almost into the 1:07s for the top driver. And we'll just wait for the race to begin then. Try and fix the switch.
Yeah, this is definitely one of my all-time favorite circuits to both watch a race and to actually sim race. You know, it's a really fun fun track to drive. Really absolutely loved watching Lewis Hamilton win here last year, going from 20th in practice one all the way, getting all the way up to I guess 10th by the time the race actually started to win the race. So it's just really monumental.
Yeah, indeed. Indeed, some fantastic memories. You know, watching racing around this track. Just some brilliant races in the past. 2016 Brazil comes to mind. 2021 Brazil. 2019. I could pretty much list all the Brazilian Grand Prix as great races to watch. It's such a good track. Weather plays a massive part. Even back in 2008, the weather helps Lewis Hamilton reach his first title.
Absolutely. You know, I just watched that race again the other day. It was a walkthrough with what's his name, Felipe Massa, and he was kind of giving his breakdown, and he thought he had won the title for about 8 seconds. You know,
the shortest world champion in history, which is heartbreaking for him. But one of the sad realities of racing. Losing the championship will not be something Matty D will be doing this season. He will be looking to try and maybe extend his championship lead to assert dominance over the rest of the field. But there'll be drivers behind who are battling for P2 who will certainly be looking. So I'll let Artistic take you through the formation lap then. And everybody's got on their wheels.
Yeah, looks like everyone so far actually has tires. Yesterday we had a couple zombie cars driving around with only 3 tires out here. So we're gonna have a look at. Let's see if our championship leader, Matty D, is kind of winding through that little straightaway coming after turn 1, 2, and 3. This is a really technical, tricky part. Starts to get really technical up in here. People typically have to be able to take it within 5th or 6th gear. Try not to go too wide here, out here to invalidate. Break it down within 2nd, 3rd at most in this little S curves here. You can get it back up to 6th up in time and bring it back down to 2nd and 3rd again here. Get right back on the field long enough to get back within 7th, 8th gear here. Get within maybe 90 meters and break it down to about probably 3rd, 4th gear. And try to get right back on the gas. Keep it in tight so that you're able to possibly get on that DRS if it's open. But if not, you know, put that button down in the DRS to crank out as many of those horsepower as possible. I believe you can get up to about maybe just over 300 and something kilometers an hour, maybe 215 miles an hour is the track record here, if I'm not mistaken. So it's a really pretty exciting race.
Yeah, indeed, very much looking forward to this one then. Pretty much everybody on the... Matty D's been disqualified for being too fast. It's pretty much everybody on the medium tyres, apart from Zippy and Matty D on the hards, and then T De Silva deciding the softs are the better option. Domore and Villeneuve also deciding the hards are what is going to be the best race tyre. So watch out for T De Silva making some quick progress. So then, we wait for the 5 red lights to go out. They are out and away we go then for the Brazilian Grand Prix. Looks like Matty D has had a lightning start on those hards, but the softer compound of the mediums is allowing Kayamas to get a bit further ahead.
Albert spent around Carnes to killing Spence. I'm not sure if he had any contact with anyone, but he did a complete donut. He's at the back of the field now.
Indeed, Matty D actually managed to get ahead of the Ferrari. It also looks like the Aston Martin trying to go down the inside. He's not able to do so. Unfortunately, T De Silva, we're going to head to the back of the field and see what's going on there. Yeah, T De Silva certainly off, and Pelosi dropping down to P4. T-Mouse getting the better of him, although Pelosi's going to try and hang it around the outside. The outside is going to become the inside line then. I think it looks like Pelosi does get that position back from Team Mouse. Then that was very adventurous. And oh, look at this down the inside. Big contact. F1 Nerd
McLaren.
and Owen. A very adventurous move from the Aston Martin there. Very much opportunistic. Perhaps a bit too opportunistic for Owen then. And he sends himself and F1 Nerd spinning to a bit further back. He's down to P9. F1 Nerd down to P14 then. Gasmore Pan also getting past Owen now, who's down to P. Although I just think Gasmore Pan is closely getting overtaken then in the background. Although he's going to try and fight this one. He had to cut across the curb to keep the position, so he might be forced to give that one back for the Aston Martin driver. Although Shahid might try and come back at him down the Retro-Aposta. He's not going to be able to though, as we're going to head further back. Looks like Rage Burger's got past Kavolis then. Villeneuve getting past his teammate Donmore, who's unable to hang it round. And look at this, Haas F1 Nerd coming in from the background then. He's going to try and go down the inside of an Alfa Romeo. Who's round? That's F1 Nerd, who's had more contact with Zippy then. Coming in. Yeah, coming in to the fast right-hander. Wow, not the greatest of starts for F1 Nerd, who has been in the wars a little bit so far then. Matty D not having a mighty lead so far. He's used more ERS and is not quite as far ahead. Of course, those medium tyres are going to be working a bit nicer at the start of the session. A bit more grip, a bit more bite into the rubber then, into the tarmac surface for the Ferrari, and that's going to allow him to have a bit more pace. Berger actually getting the fastest lap so far. He is looking mighty quick.
It's like they're popping each other, you know, and just always real crazy within the back to the middle of the pack. Everyone jostling for position. The best way to keep a clean race really is to get a higher quality. Because the further you are to the back, the closer you are to some dogfighting. Anything can happen in a racing incident.
Someone who's not stayed out of the wars is Mornstein into turn 1. I believe with Berger he had an incident and was spun round and has dropped back down to P16. He was actually quite high up there. Didn't quite see where he finished.
Yeah, he just had a little contact with the McLaren just now. He's having a rough day.
No, that's actually Vintage. Vintage is round. His teammate. His teammates had a spin and has dropped down to P20 then. As we look to see if there'll be a little bit of an overtake. DRS now active for these drivers.
We have a spin. Monstar just had a spin. Coming up around turn 6, I believe. Spent out, got back control of the car, but got away from him for a minute there.
Oh, there's contact in the fight for the lead. Kaya Mers and Matty D. They're going wheel to wheel. Matty D on the inside, Kaya Mers on the outside. They had some contact and both spinning round there. Matty D drops down to P7. Kaya Mers down to P8 then. Wow, that happened awfully fast. And yeah, as you did say, Monstar, another spin for him. Not the greatest of starts to this race, but there is still a few more laps. There's 32 laps for him to make up those positions. And T-Mouse then finds himself leading the Grand Prix by 1.6 seconds. Lucifer Shahid then under a bit of pressure. I think that's Kaya Mers around again, no? Indeed it is. He's come round at the top of turn, I think that's around turn 7. So he's round then. Oh, look at this, Mordstar going a bit wide again. He's going to keep that position this time around. Wow. The Ferrari who was leading is now battling down for P16. Oh, Gaspar Pan also round. He's going the wrong way around the circuit.
Yep.
He's facing backwards. He's got to find a place to pirouette round. He has indeed. That's going to drop him all the way to the back of the field.
19th place. Oh my goodness.
Indeed. Wow,
what's going on today?
It's all kicking off in this race, and we're only a few laps in. A lot of collisions so far. Doesn't look like. Looks like Lucifer Shahid and Kavolis very close together. Then
a lot of collisions. People are all over the place, but no safety cars. Not one.
No safety car because nobody has got
and
damage.
no penalties. And no penalties. So it's been a crazy but clean race.
Yeah, indeed. Unfortunately, Tita Silva does have a 5-second penalty for ignoring yellow flags. Kavolis now under some huge pressure from Owen behind. Owen's going to try and sneak it down the inside where he had his collision earlier on. he's going to decide better of it, learning from his errors. He's all over the back of the Haas driver now. He's looking for a pass, whether it's inside, outside, over the top, underneath. He's trying to find a way around. He's just unable to find it so far, but this DRS zone coming down the pit straight should give him the straight line speed he needs then. He's going to go down the inside before they've even started. Owen on Kavolis then. He's looking like he's already ahead before they go into the corner. Who's late on the brakes? Owen gets it first. Ooh, he's passed him before they reach the second part of the chicane, which is ever so essential, as Pelosi and Rageberger actually further up are going forward. Rageberger getting past with DRS assistance then and puts himself up into P2. He's having a stonking race so far. Take a look at the position change then. So yeah, Rageberger is up 18 places.
That's insane.
Wow,
Yeah,
that is an insane
he's
start.
He's really taking advantage of a lot of missed opportunities by other people and mishaps, I guess you can say. And he's taking advantage of them each and every time someone else does something goofy. He slides up a peg or two.
Indeed, but up 18 places is mega. Which is quite magnificent from the Alpine driver. He'll be looking to make maybe some more progress up into P1 perhaps, but now he's going to be under pressure from Pelosi, who is going to have DRS back at him again then coming down the main straight. Pelosi's going to pull to the outside then. He's always late on the brakes is the Aston Martin driver, and he's just too late for a move to be made as Light Sesso takes a 3-second penalty for exceeding track limits. And now Berger has got the opportunity to make a move down the inside into turn 4. Easy does it for the driver, and looks like Villeneuve has actually had a spin. Yeah, indeed he has at the centre S's then. He's very much slowed on the track. He's dropped down to P18. So if you have a spin in the wrong place, it's clearly not very good then, as it looks like Kavolis has got past. And who's that cutting across? That's Lucifer Shahid cutting across the grass then. So perhaps he's had a little bit of a moment. So he's dropped down to P7.
He's had a good pass on Page for the 10th spot.
It's good move from F1 Nerd back up to P10. Kyle Mears only P13 at the moment. He's chasing down Mordstar, who himself is chasing it down. Baguette in front. Mordstar and Kyle Mears not having the greatest start to this race respectively. And look at this, Pelosi on Berger already. They're already wheel to wheel. They're trading positions all the time, and down the outside a nice move by Pelosi to get past Berger, but can Pelosi hold it coming down the next straight? DRS is going to be open for the Alpine driver. We get a fantastic shot on the diffuser, and look at the straight line speed he's carrying down the inside into turn 4. Very simple, easy overtake. These two are switching positions, and respect to them because they've actually pulled a 1.6 second gap on Owen behind, which is allowing them to have this battle safely and without much consequence to their race. It's also though
they're on the same tire, so see who blinks first.
The team also 3.4 seconds in the lead in the Williams. It's been a great drive from him so far then. Kavolis is under huge pressure from Matty D, both one on the medium, one on the hards. Matty D is going to be running very long into this race. The lack of an early safety car has certainly benefited him quite nicely then. The less time we have without a safety car, the more time it benefits Matty D. He'd ideally like a safety car a few laps from the end so he can just dive into the pits for a set of sauces. He goes down the inside into turn 1. Very late move. He's now going to try and hang it around the outside. He wasn't able to do so as Kavolis had the racing line, although Kavolis does take a penalty. But now with DRS coming down the Retta Aposta, it's going to be an easy move down the inside for Matty D. He moves himself back into P5.
That's going to hurt Kavolis to have lost the position and pick up a 3-second penalty for fighting. You know, so I mean, it wasn't the cause of it. Was just, last warning and, going over track limits. We have a spin. It's Austin Martin spent out. Looks like Owen spent out there. Poor Owen.
Owen, who was holding P4, was actually within the DRS range, I believe, of Pelosi and Rageberger after their battle. Has unfortunately dropped down to P8 after a spin Pelossi looks a bit further back from Rage Burger this time around. It'll be very, very interesting to see if he can still make the overtake coming down the pit straight. DRS is going to be open. He's going to have a huge speed advantage. Bit too far out. He's going to have another go though down the Retta Apostas. Looks like a AlphaTauri is round in the middle sector, but he's got going again then. Oh, I'm not sure if he's going to have the speed to do it though. He's going to try and find a way around the outside. Rage Burger positions that car beautifully in the middle of the circuit and keeps the position. And Owen into the pits then. He's the first driver in the pits. Let's see what kind of tyres he decides to put on. It's the hards. He's gone early on the hards then. He'll be trying to go to the end of the race after his spin, deciding that was the best option. Mordstar now very close to the back of Baguette. Mordstar, and this is actually starting to form a bit of a DRS train. Oh no, round to Mordstar! He's round again. Did he get a little bit of a helping hand from Kayamaz? I did not quite see, but he's round. He's round back down. You're going to have a quick watch on stream. Well, I don't think he did. I think he's just dropped it on by himself yet again. Yeah, this DRS train in the middle of the circuit looking very close together. And looks like that Polowski a lot closer to Rage Burger this time around. Oh no, round! Rage Burger's round! Oh no, he's round and wasn't able to get it going in the right direction then. Oh, the Alpine driver.
Number 7.
He was having such a good start and he's round and has to build himself back up. Oh, that's such a shame. That provokes Matty D up into P3. Wow, Matty D has come back quite nicely.
And we're not even halfway through the race. Wow.
Yeah, indeed it is quite a chaotic race so far, but Team Alce leads by 4 seconds. He is very comfortable at the moment. Speaking of comfort,
yeah, it's going to require that you try to bring him back.
Yeah, indeed, and Polowski as well is 3.7 seconds ahead of Matty D. Himself is unable to get outside the DRS of Kavolis, but their pace is quite similar, so they are pretty much remaining where they are at the moment. Carnage Achilles disconnected and is currently ghosted as his AI, so he'll be using a bit more ERS than he really would want. We're actually going to focus back towards this DRS train as Burger's into the pits then, deciding it's time to change up those tyres. F1 Nerd being pursued by Light Sesso then, as I think... I'm not sure what's...
Yeah, almost had a pass by Chambers. Yeah, it looks like we got a nice little fight there between 7, 8, and 9. And then Paige is kind of on the back end of 10 watching the whole thing, so it's a nice little 7 to 10 battle.
Yeah, indeed, and yeah, Kai Armours almost tried to go around the outside of the McLaren, but Sesso was having absolutely none of that. So Kai Armours then has got past Baguette in the background. The Ferrari will be trying to attack the McLaren up ahead. Mordstar takes a 3-second time penalty. F1 Nerd's got a 3-second penalty. Kai Armours has a 3-second penalty. Mordstar's got that 3-second penalty. So quite a few drivers. I say quite a few, 5 drivers with penalties at the moment, making it 6 drivers. Yeah, Tito Silva picks up our 6th penalty. Carnage Achilles finally gets back into the fray then, is going to have a bit of work to do to get back within that DRS range. So yeah,
Silva didn't want to be ignored. He's like, we're going to mention him. We're going to mention you too, buddy. Okay. Take this one, you know?
Yeah, like Sesso, really unable to get close. And look at that down the inside. Kayamaz, oh, that's a suicidal move from the Ferrari. Wow, that's taken out the Haas driver. That was very late on the brakes. Far too late from the pole sitter. And that's ruined the Haas's race then. A lot of work for both of them to do. What the Haas done is relieved a little bit of pressure off Light Sesso's. Oh no, someone's out. Someone's crashed.
The Silver's out?
Yeah, the Silver has crashed out. We're going to quickly see if we can scroll through to see if that incident. Just missed it, no, and that is... I'm not sure if this is a safety car or a VSC. Don't have any boards to let us know. I think it's just a VSC, just a virtual safety car. Cannot see a safety car on track then. But this has brought T-Mouse and Pelosi into the pits. Matty D is going to stay out on track. If the VSC, Donwell's picked up a drive-through for speeding under the VSC. Carnage and Achilles also staying out on track. Pretty much everybody else into the pits, like Sesso and Baguette also staying out. Into the pits as well. F1 stays up.
Was that a good decision by Matty D to stay out there in them 13 lap old hards? Is they anticipating another safety lap, another 7-8 laps into this?
Yeah, perhaps he might be. And, well, really, I think it's a bit early for him to pit. Of course, with all these collisions that are happening up and down the field, it's entirely possible that someone doesn't. Speaking of collisions, someone has had a spin. It's one of the Mercedes. It's
Mercedes, yeah.
Gasmore Pan. Yeah, Gasmore Pan having that spin.
And lap at the same time. Not having a great race. I've been there.
Indeed. So we're going to have a look at the penalties everybody's got. So Light Sesso actually has green flag racing now, and Gasmore Pan is around again.
Good move. Ray Berger made a great move on Lucifer. He's really coming up through this technical middle section here pretty quickly.
Indeed, he's on the hard, so he'll be going to the end of the race then. And just trying to see who's the closest. Looks like Baguette and Pelosi closest on the track at the moment. They just passed the lap car. Pelosi's going to try and go around the outside. Baguette is just going to let that move slide. Going a little bit deep. Coming into the centre S's, but recovers very nicely.
And he's driving a fantastic race. No penalties. Staying out of the way, not having the quickest lap time, but being fast enough with no penalties, driving clean, can get her on the podium. Great job, Paige. Way to represent Tier 4.
Indeed it could, and Lucifer Shahid into the pits. Kaya Mers having to serve, he's got 8 seconds worth of penalties, make that 3 seconds, and now as he's just served a 5-second penalty that he received for the kamikaze overtake, is what I will nickname it now, as it was quite the adventurous move. Trying to see if anybody is in the DRS at the moment. It looks like Blue Streamers, Lucifer Shahid, actually Villeneuve and Owen. Villeneuve in the DRS of the Aston Martin driver. Tyres, everybody's on. Quite a few drivers. Oh, look at that, Carnage Achilles on the mediums, deciding now is the time to box on those mediums. Perhaps the mediums really wearing out just a little bit more than expected then. It's all, we got a yellow flag. Is that Carnage who's round?
Carnage is still in the pits. Coming out now.
Yeah, just trying to see who was. We got a yellow, so I'm assuming someone was round. Perhaps it was his teammate Zippy. Carnage Achilles then filters out into P10. And then he's got a bit of work to do. Of course, he's not a net P10, but he is P10 on those colder tyres. Nobody really quite within DRS apart from Donmore at the moment. He's only 7/10. So, just trying to see, I think it's about a 20-second pit stop. So at the moment, Matty D is going to filter out around P6, perhaps maybe P9 territory if it's 23 seconds. Depends on the length of his stop. He's got quite a way to go, and look at this, Kavolis and Mordstar. I think Mordstar perhaps making a little mistake as he's dropping back quite rapidly. Polowski obviously jumps ahead as Sesso, and I think that's Baguette also into the pits along with Mordstar. These three deciding now is the time to pit for hard compound tyres to take them to the end of the session. Wow, it's been exciting so far, but the races seem to calm down. Everybody's sort of getting out of the gap, and oh dear though, Zippy and Carnage Achilles, the two teammates, are looking like they're about to be going wheel to wheel in a couple of laps time. Those two drivers filtering out, Mordstar filtering out in about P13 at the moment. He's filtering out about P13.
Yeah, Matty knows once he goes to pit, he's basically going to be relinquishing that lead to T-Mouse. So he's probably just pushing it out as long as possible, hoping that he can have some mistakes happen behind him.
Indeed, I mean, F1 Nerd's going to have to come in again. Zippy's going to have to come in again. So that's already, say he does come out P6, that's already him up to P4. Nah, and then he's going to have much fresher tyres and a softer tyre, the mediums. I think that's still 18 laps, it's still quite adventurous on those mediums, so he's going to have to be a little bit cautious where he goes. So Zippy then leads his teammate by 0.3 of a second as they head outside of turn 3. DRS is going to be active for the Alfa Romeo driver on 15 lap fresher tyres. He's going to be unable to get close enough for him. Movers Owen now picks up another 3-second penalty for exceeding track limits then. So yeah, I think Carnage needs to get just a bit closer to make the overtake on his teammate. His teammate now on much older tyres. Much better pace. He's got fast as that, so he is definitely getting back on the pace. He's got a lot of work to do if he wants to get back in the lead battle then. So it used to be the mediums last about 15 or so laps before they kind of go past their date. So Matty D needs to hang it out a couple more laps. Minus any safety cars to really get the most out of those mediums as F1 Nerd into the pits and Carnage Achilles looking to make a move on his teammate. Very easy move around the outside. Much better straight line speed that promotes him up into P5 unless his teammate can have anything to say about it. But Zippy is actually going to be under pressure himself by Rage Burger, who has come out of nowhere and is now attacking the Alfa Romeo driver. This is for position on the racetrack down the inside at turn 4. That got very close to contact, but Rage Burger prevails and takes the position in P6 and is now free to attack Carnage Achilles as Baguette takes a penalty for exceeding track limits then. As F1 Nerd coming out of the pits. She must have come out of the pits quite a while ago. I think maybe just getting overtaken. As Matty D has lost quite the amount of time this lap. He's lost about 0.6 of a second. So he'll be looking to see what he can do. And wow, Burger's got fantastic pace at the moment on those 7-lap old hards. Closing right up to Carnage Achilles in the Alfa Romeo. So just looking at the position changes, still up 14 places from Berger. He was up 18 at the start before his unfortunate spin. It's getting very
exciting race though. He's been all over the track, up and down the grid.
Indeed he has, and now he's going to get DRS on Carnage Achilles coming down the Retropostor, though I don't think it's quite going to be enough to make the overtake. Certainly isn't. He's still about half a second back. So Seto and Owen also having their own little battle. Then Owen's going to get the DRS on the McLaren. This again, it's not going to quite be enough. He sort of needs to be about 0.3 before the DRS really helps you make a big move on some of these drivers further up the order ahead of you. That's pretty much representative of what real life is, and Berger certainly listening to what we're saying in the comment box, as he is now 0.2 away. Berger's already down the inside. Very adventurous, very opportunistic move from the Alpine, and he's ahead and up into P5, although he's going to be under some intense pressure as he's not going to get the helping hand of DRS from Carnage Achilles, who's looking like he's going to be coming back on the Alfa Romeo now. He's going to go round the outside through the final corner. As that is, I believe, someone in the pits. That's Zippy in the pits. Yeah, round the outside is Carnage Achilles, back ahead of the Alpine driver. And now it's down to Rage Burger. What kind of speed can he carry down the Retroposter? He's on a much more ERS than the Alfa Romeo in front, and DRS at wide open for Rage Burger. He's going to be unable to make that move though, and Carnage Achilles maintains at P5. Not sure what's going on between Moldstar, Zippy. Zippy's in the pits. That's what's causing the graphic to go crazy with the position changes. So I think I'm just going to put it back to me.
And F1 there just past Page. And the penalties are starting to mount up.
Indeed, quite a few drivers with penalties. Look at this Berger, very fast in this section of the racetrack, and he's going to go for it again in the same place he did last time. This is clearly where Carnage is weak and Berger is strong. Matty D then decides the time is now. He's into the pits. It'll be interesting to see where he does filter out then. So Berger is going to have to defend all the way down the long pit straight. Look at this Carnage already getting that move done down the inside before they even reach the braking zone. And Berger taking a nice wide sweeping line, which is going to give him a beautiful exit coming out of turn 3 compared to the Alfa Romeo in front. He'll be looking for a move coming down the Retro Aposta now. DRS is going to be active for him. He's going to pull to the inside as they barrel down that straight. All very close to contact, but down the inside. A nice move by Berger, and he's going to take P5. He's just got to hold on to it coming through the rest of the lap. And as long as he gets the DRS of Kavolis ahead, I think Berger will be looking quite comfortable. So Matty D has actually come out P3 on fresh mediums.
Came out in pretty good shape.
He's my favourite to win the race at the moment.
He's already made up 3 seconds on Pulaski since being out of the pitch.
Well, he is going to be flying, of course, on those fresh softs. Everybody else on the older hards. So it'll be very interesting to see what will happen in the final few laps. I believe you probably will have the pace to take it. I'm sure we'll see some fastest laps coming out from him very soon. So then this battle resumes. Does Berger have the pace to maintain P5? He's not caught up to Kavolis anymore, and Carnage has very much closed in that gap, of course, coming down pit straight. Oh, look at this filtering in between. Almost looked like it was for a second. Carnage unable to get close enough for an overtake though, and Berger is going to maintain that as Owen takes another 3-second penalty for exceeding track limits. Then Berger really has to make sure he breaks the DRS and gets into the DRS of Kavolis this lap then, if he wants to have a meaningful impact in this race. Looking further back, Lito is under huge pressure from Owen behind. They're only 2 tenths. Is the Aston Martin from the McLaren. They'll be desperately looking for a way past. Just want to hit those gaps, and it looks like Rage Berger is not getting inside that DRS.
You can always count on these Aston Martins to score real high in the points, as they are our Constructor Championship leader right now.
Yeah, look at that, Matty D, his first of his final flying laps, 10.3. He's really gunning for it. He's only a second away from Polowski already, and these guys are coming down the Retro Aposta into turn 4 as we speak. So then Owen then is going to try and make a move on Lito. They're moving all over the track. Owen's going to go down the inside, push Lito in the McLaren all the way. The inside is Lito's. He's going to take a penalty as he cut the corner, and then he goes a bit wide, gets a bit out of shape on the curb, and that's going to allow the Aston Martin straight through on the inside. DRS is going to be active for Owen. He's going to solidify that position. A good move. That's good hard racing from these two.
Carnage killed split out.
Oh no, poor Carnage. He's doing a good job almost getting close and almost passing Berger again. But now he's got a lot more work to do though as Lito.
Pushing so hard, you know.
And we're going to head to Polowski and Matty D, as Matty D looks like he's got the pace very easily coming out of the final corner onto the main straight. An easy move down the inside. His fresher tyres are going to be later on the brakes. Oh no, round! Ooh! Polowski looked like he almost went round and into the wall there. A good save to keep it out of the wall. Now 6 seconds is the gap to Team House. Can Matty D close it down? Both these guys with no penalties, so it will be for position. I believe he can, but can Team House get the pace he needs to remain in that position? So now Owen is going to be defending from Sesso this time around then. Although Sesso's dropped a bit further back, he's now about 3.5 tenths as they head down that Retro Aposta. DRS wide open. Which way is he going to try and go? It's going to go no way, as there's a big racing green car. Oh no, Team House has got a 3-second penalty now. This can really play into Matty D's hands. He's only got to make up 2 seconds before he takes the race win. Indeed, Kavolis.
He's definitely kicking himself for that one.
Indeed, and Kavolis has had his DRS barrier broken then by Berger, although he himself is going to get DRS. I think Berger was just outside of DRS range when it came to the detection though. Doesn't help Kavolis gets it from a lapped car in front. You'll see, and look at this F1 nerd. It looks like he's going to be attacking Lito now, coming down as they are only 4/10 away. And DRS is not active for Lito. This could be quite catastrophic to his races. Looks like there's an AlphaTauri on the inside of, well, actually on turn 3, crashed. We'll have to wait and see if he's crashed. Oh, he has crashed. And, oh no, Baguette has also retired in the pit lane for Baguette. As down the inside goes F1 nerd on Lito.
The penalties are starting to mount. She said, "The heck with this." But man, we've got quite a few drivers with multiple penalties. like Seven's got 9 seconds, 6 seconds for both Owen and F1 nerd, and then 3 seconds for T-Mouse, Caballos, Monstar, Chambers, Luz Shahid, and Bellamevo, as well as Down War.
Yeah, indeed, and now Berger in that DRS is going to be closing that gap down ever more on Kavolis, who actually himself is doing a great job.
Oh, we got another spin in the Mercedes.
It's that's Gazmore Pan round again. He's certainly not having the greatest of races here. Yeah, really unfortunate for Gazmore Pan, really not enjoying his time in this race. Only 2 retirements so far, only 1 crash, which is...
Ooh, that one really way off. Is that Zippy?
I think someone's in the pits, or has stopped on the pit exit, it looks like on my screen. And they've started going again now. I'm not exactly sure what that is. T-Mouse in the pits. T-Mouse has decided to box.
Interesting.
So Matty D assumes the lead. Alonso takes P2 then. Kavolis P3. Berger moves up into the effective podium positions then. Oh, and fresh softs for T-Mouse. He's decided that the time is now for those tyres. Now, if we do see the second Williams of Lucifucci have a crash, we might have a crash gate scandal, as he seems to have fitted on the right time for those tyres. But now look at this, Kavolis is under huge pressure from Berger. Berger really closing up in the Alpine. He is getting so much closer. Yeah, very interesting that Mouse decided to pit. Perhaps he's going for a fastest lap point. He does have the penalty.
Yeah, I thought he could have went the rest of the way on those medium people he was on. But
yeah, it was really interesting because Matty D had not made as big of an impact as I expected him to as well. He was only gaining tenths, so I think T-Mouse might have just been able to hold it on, but he did have that penalty, which is why I think he was slightly reluctant to, as we got, I believe that's another Alpine around an Alpine and AlphaTauri round. They are lapped cars. Berger unable to get close enough for a pass into turn 1. He's going to try and look for the overtake though. Coming down the Retroposta, look at the exit he's got coming out of turn 3. This is looking very good for the Alpine driver so far. A place where he's made so many moves so far this race weekend. He's going to go down the inside into turn 4. A nice easy move for Berger. Now he takes that position away as there is a T-Mouse behind. Critical to get that overtake finished.
Guess what, Pam's off again.
Yeah, indeed, the bottom 3 drivers are not having the greatest of races. They are a minute and 6 seconds behind the leader, which is not great for those guys. They've been unable to...
With 7 laps left. Matty D is trying to run away with it, but it's almost a 5.5 second lead.
Indeed. Should T-Mouse though clear these 2 drivers with relative speed, he might be within a bit of a chance. But look at Team Mouse then, already on the back of Kavolis. Team Mouse has the fastest lap of the race at 9.6. He's going to try and move down the inside, but Kavolis is just going to block him off with the perfect car positioning. But coming down the Retro-Aposta now, it looks like superior straight line speed will win out. As down the inside is looking Team Mouse. Williams versus Haas. He's going to go down the inside, a nice easy overtake, of course. Very difficult to get the move done for
he had to burn up almost all of the DRS to do it though.
Indeed. Berger's on the very sort of similar on the ERS amount, and Team Mouse right on the back of Berger. Perhaps Team Mouse, if he's got the pace, he might be able to do it. He might be able to claw back perhaps P2.
He's got a tire advantage here.
But he's
got 2-lap old softs versus 18-lap old hards. Berger's got a... Well, he might make a move down here on this straightaway if he can get close enough here.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, just the time he has to make up about 2 seconds a lap. Though has Team Mouse, if he does want to take a win back, and that's disregarding his 3-second penalty that he's got. If anyone can do it, it's him on the fresh softs. He's down the inside of Berger already then. Berger, nothing in response, naturally, on those old tyres. Although he's going to get DRS, a helping hand of DRS, to get him just a little bit closer to Team Mouse and drag him perhaps outside of the DRS of Kavolis. Indeed it has. Berger remains P4 as Team Mouse is surely going to run away on those fresh soft compound tyres.
Yeah, he's got a long way to go before he can catch Pulaski to even try to make a battle for it. So we'll get back to him in the meantime. Who's the next closest battle we got? I guess Raceberger not giving up hope, but I think those 19-year-old tires, you can just watch Team Mouse drive away. There won't be much of a battle there.
Yeah, indeed. And actually, it looks like Owen is back under perhaps a little bit of pressure from Light Sesso, who's only 7/10 away. Kaya Mers also only 7/10 away from Mordstar, who's just not had the greatest of races in the earlier stages. It's just not been great for him so far, but he will be looking to find a way back, perhaps into the points. It's 11 seconds away for him. He's going to have to do a lot of work to get there. All these penalties, though, are really adding up.
Are we going to race it out like this, or is anybody going to get desperate and try to do something wacky right here and possibly bring out a virtual safety car as a result? How is this race going to end?
We have no idea, but Sesso is trying to make a move on Owen, and he's got the speed to do so. He just has to find the gap on the Aston Martin driver in front. He's not going to have the space to do so this time around, although there are only 2 tenths. And look at this, Kaya Mers, only a tenth. He's wheel to wheel with Mordstar then, and he's down the inside and drops Mordstar out of the points, unfortunately for him. He's going to have to do a bit. He's going to have a bit of luck to jump ahead of somebody and get into the points again. Berger though is back inside DRS range of Kavolis. Kavolis is trying to hunt and get past him. Team Mouse has almost already got rid of that 3-second gap that he needs for his penalty to be nullified, essentially.
Oh yeah, I hadn't even considered that. I had been looking at how much he was needing to catch Pulaski. I hadn't even thought about Raceberger catching him. He's about a second outside of range there. No, I think his penalty, what's he got? Just 3 seconds, right? 3 seconds his penalty, 5 seconds from the lead ahead. Yeah, he's got about a 3-second cushion.
He hasn't gained that much time. He hasn't gained as much time as I thought he would. He's actually lost a bit of time. Perhaps those softs already really going off for the Williams drivers. He's actually lost about a couple of tenths so far this lap. Berger has put in one of his better middle sectors, less than a tenth away from his fastest. But yeah, lost a lot of time as Team Mouse, and he's not gained that much on Pulaski. So all hope is certainly not lost for Berger to perhaps climb on the podium here with Team Mouse's 3-second penalty at play. So Owen then is going to have to defend yet again from Lato. possibly not down this straight, but later on down the Retta Aposta, he's going to be under some huge pressure, as that DRS is going to allow him to close up to the Aston Martin driver, so he can be within striking range of coming down that Retta Aposta there.
Yeah.
Oh, a bit out of a shape though for Lito, though. It does look like he is very close indeed. Then Owen is going to try put that car in the middle of the circuit down the inside. A late move. It almost looked like it was going to happen for Lito. Very late, unable to find the space. Owen, good defensive driving just to keep it planted in the middle of the circuit. Make it very difficult for someone to find a way around. And that gap is actually hovering around 3 seconds now for Berger. I think Team House picked up the pace just a little bit. I think he did have quite the poor lap. Now up to 3.2, so I believe it's probably safe for Team House, unless he does have a...
Just barely. We better do something dynamic.
Indeed, 3.2 though. It's going to be very close, as we are now on the penultimate lap for Matty D, who has led very comfortably indeed in the early parts of this race. But now DRS is going to be active for Lito. He's trying to be unlapped himself by Lise Fajih. Down the inside goes Lito on Owen into turn one. That's going to work, but can Owen keep the pace coming down the Retta Aposta now? Oh no, I don't think he's dropped 6/10 behind, but it's not going to be too catastrophic though, as Lito does have 3 seconds more worth of penalties than the driver. So it should be okay as long as he can remain within those 3 seconds. So we're gonna head to Berger, because Berger he needs to have the lap of his life to gain 7/10, and potentially, as Kaya Mers takes another 3-second penalty, we're seeing track limits. So we are on the final lap of this Brazilian Grand Prix then. Matty D has got a commanding lead of almost 10 seconds. A real champion's drive. Polowski trying to solidify his second place in the championship then with a P2 so far. Team House pit for the soft that gamble has not quite paid off in the way that he thought it would. Might have been better sticking it out to the end, and Berger being unable to get close. He's so close to a podium. It's just going to fall away from him at the last second, I think, as Matty D has been commanding. He took P2 in qualifying, and the race he's pretty much led throughout. Matty D, after having an incident in the earlier sessions, comes across the line to win the Brazilian Grand Prix. A cheeky 360 over the line. Brilliant drive from the McLaren driver. He certainly thoroughly deserved the win today. Polowski takes P2, Team House P3, Berger P4.
In a very exciting race.
Indeed, plenty of incidents. Certainly one to watch back tomorrow. Wow, that was a fantastic performance from Matty D. He drove brilliantly there. Driver of the day for me, I have to go for Berger. He's come up, I think, about 16 places. Yeah, 16 positions. That's just incredible. And he had a spin as well. He would have been on the podium, but he had a little spin and fought his way back up to P4. Brilliant drive.
Yeah, I'd have to share your sentiments just for being the most entertaining driver throughout the race, because he was at the front of the grid, he was in the back, he's fighting his way through the mid-pack. He was all over the circuit, just letting you know that, hey, this guy's here to race, so you couldn't help but keep your eye on him. So, an absolute favorite new driver of the day.
Indeed. Brilliant race at the end of it. And extending his championship lead is the champion, Matty D.
It's a wrap on that. And I'm sure the McLaren the Austin Martin didn't do too bad either. Looked like they had a couple really high-placed drivers there. So they'll be able to extend their Constructors' Championship lead. This week it was pretty much business as usual.
As far as it works, to an end. Sure. be doing some post-race interviews. T-Mouse takes the fastest lap of the race with a 9.6. That was fast on those fresh softs. So wow, brilliant race comes to an end. We'll wait to see if anybody does join us.
So who do we got? You want to go down through our names here?
So P1, Matty D. Position 2, the Aston Martin of Polowski. T-Mouse finishes P3, Berger in P4, Cavalis P5, followed by Carnage, Achilles and Owen, Seto, Kaya, Mers and Mordstar round out the top 10 then. Zippy, F1 Nerd, Crew Streamers, Villeneuve, Lucifer Shahid, Vintage, and Gazmorpan and Donmore round out the finishes in P18, followed by Biget and T De Silva. Only two DNFs, T De Silva crashing out and Biget unfortunately retiring later on in the race. So yeah, fantastic race then, and a brilliant ending.
Definitely.
We'll wait to see if any interviewers do come crawling. So will we have the podium drivers join us for an interview, or will we just call it there?
Let's just call it a wrap.
Okay then. Yep. So thank you everybody for joining us for the stream today. It has been quite a fantastic one, and I hope everybody has a great week. And we'll see you next week for the final round of Tier 3. We'll see who is crowned the Constructors' Champions.
And tomorrow there's Tier 4 to duke it out as well. I don't think Tier 4 champion has been decided that I know of.
They'll have 2 more rounds to decide who becomes their champion. Matty D is our champions. So fantastic race today. Thank you everybody for watching, and I hope to see you guys next week. Good night.
Good night.